It took me 12 years to figure out I had no idea what I was doing. Don't make the same mistake I made. And I'm in the home improvement business. If you're in the market for new replacement windows for your home to solve comfort problems, make sure you listen to this 8-minute story. You might be glad that you did. I'm Eric Gans, Certified Energy Auditor in Maryland. At the beginning of 2007, I didn't really know much about how a house was built. Up to that point, I hadn't given much thought to residential construction. And at the same time, I was the new owner of a 1960s fixer-upper house, and I'd started a brand new career as a window replacement salesperson. I like to be comfortable inside my own home. I like being warm on a cold Sunday while watching football or cool on a hot summer night before bed. In this house, I felt like it was a step backwards from my old apartment. It was uncomfortable most of the time, and the utility bills were higher. I was selling windows because about a year earlier I decided to make a career change. I've always wanted to be self-employed and advise or consult people in some way. So when a friend had a growing window company and asked me to help, I saw it as a great way to take the next step into fulfilling my professional goals. I made the switch. After a few years in home improvements, I thought I had it all figured out. Like most, I thought HVAC, windows, and doors were the pathway to improving my own home comfort. So naturally, I was presenting the same solutions to my customers. By the end of 2010, I spent a small fortune replacing the windows and HVAC system in my own house in pursuit of change. Afterwards, I remember feeling baffled when I didn't feel more comfortable. My bill didn't change much either. With a son on the way and a huge motivator for getting the things done, I was very disappointed. Simultaneously, my work situation was growing more challenging. I was putting in a lot of hours to keep the window company I was running above water. Deep down, I knew something was wrong. Not only was I not feeling more comfortable after I replaced my own windows, but other signals were going off around me as well. In 2012, several window companies in the Baltimore-Washington marketplace were getting fined by the Federal Trade Commission for falsely advertising that windows can save homeowners a ton on their energy bill. The same year, I had a replacement window customer that was concerned that her home didn't feel well sealed after her windows were installed. I struggled with how it could be because I'd basically taken apart the job, inspected everything, and it revealed that the windows were correctly measured and they were sealed properly with foam and caulk. I spent hours after that trying to figure out why our house still felt drafty. Where could this cold air be coming from? My spirits were broken, and as I began to lose confidence in the replacement windows we were selling, I also started to feel like my days of being self-employed were coming to an end. I loved many aspects of my role with the company, but it was all too much for sustained growth, and eventually we did have to shut the doors in 2015. So let me tell you how all of this can help you. About a year later, in December 2016, I started to realize that my time in the window business was actually well spent. During an online job searching session, I came across the Building Performance Institute. I learned that getting certified as a building analyst would give me the opportunity to work as a certified energy auditor. I had a sense early on that it might be a good fit for me. I took the class, and on the first day I was taken aback when I learned that windows in a house only account for 10% of a home's air leakage. I also learned that putting a new HVAC system in a house that's leaky is pointless. So needless to say, I was pretty much hooked, and I earned my certification in November of 2017. In December 2017, I landed a role as a home energy auditor for a home performance contractor based in Annapolis. It wasn't long after that I had my aha moment. I call it the audit with the drafty windows. On January 23rd, 2018, I arrived on time for the 11th energy audit of my new life as a building scientist. The house I was assessing was in Baltimore County, Maryland. I knocked on the door, and immediately I was greeted by a sort of hasty customer. She said, "Look, my daughter and my granddaughter visit frequently. They're unable to sleep or really do anything in the basement suite that I've set up for them because the windows are drafty. It's freezing down there, and I pretty much bought this house for that space so that they could use it, and I feel like it's a waste. I want you to run your big fan test, and I want you to see where you can seal these windows." Whoa, okay. Now it was time to put all of these things I was learning and believing to the test. It was actually a little nerve-wracking. The owner of this house was convinced that her windows were the issue. It's time to put up or shut up. I started the blower door test. The test works by using a large fan to pull air from the house at the front door. For every little bit of air that the fan pulls out, air comes in to replace it instantly through all of the cracks and crevices around the envelope, which is basically the shell of the home. So not only the windows are being tested, but other places as well. So with the test running, it's super easy to go around and find all the connection points to the outside. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them that you didn't know existed. Windows, they're easy targets for the test because you can get to all of them. And that's exactly what we did. We headed down, we sized up each window together, and we didn't feel any air coming through the first one. We moved over to the next one and nothing. Basically, the theme was the same all the way around. There wasn't any air really coming through the windows or even the patio door. Everything seemed fairly airtight, and then it hit me. I realized at that moment how many hardworking, honest, proud Maryland homeowners were spending a fortune on new windows, as I had myself, because they were convinced without any testing that that was their issue. So now I can tell you that I have spent 12 years learning about windows from 2006 to 2018, and I figured out the most important thing that I needed to know that day. Windows are not the reason most homes feel drafty, and I can prove it